Hey guys, Desolate Magic Art. I got a spicy story for you after the annual tradition of doing a grand total of nothing around Christmas to New Year's. They're coming into the New Year strong with this news story. Oh! So there was a leak. I couldn't 100% vet it, but I've been told this is a fairly reliable source. I'm not familiar with them, but nobody's saying it's fake. But do take it with a grain of salt. So, there's a system on Amazon called Andon Cord. It is a system, I think they copied it from the Japanese or something. It has to do with like emergency stopping of a product if there's a problem. And it uses like statistics and numbers and that kind of stuff. It's just the emergency stop alarm that says stop selling this product. We've identified an anomaly with it. Well, two Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings products have just triggered it. One is, well, at least one of them is a priority rank 1 hard pull, which means emergency stop the presses, press the big red button. I assume they sent the Amazon Oompa Loompas in to burn it with a flamethrower. The priority 1? Back in '08 when I worked IT support at the hospital, priority 1 meant like, it's on fire, yo, like, get there. So what triggered it? Well, on paper, it's a slightly above 29%. There's some acronym. I think it's negative comment or user sentiment, like NCUS or something like that. I don't know. You guys get the idea. People are like, this is crap, thumbs down, 1 star, which that's part of the Andon Cord system. And then the return rate. Holy crap, the return rate claiming defects. It's over 10%. There's a second product that's hitting a soft pull. I'm not sure what the difference between a hard pull and a soft pull is. It's pretty obvious what a hard pull is. You just pull the product. Soft, I'm not sure. But they were seeing return rates and defect report rates between, I think it was like 10 to 30%, depending on what product you're looking at. That is insane. That is like this, crappy Chinese toy lit on fire and burned my toddler level of hard pull. That's like really bad. So what's wrong with the Lord of the Rings products all of a sudden? Those have been out for quite some time. Geez, months at least. Well, remember, Christmas was the follow-up release, so there's that. But with the search for the ring, the one ring that was worth like $2 million, and the one Canadian dude found it, sold it to rapper McTatface, I think that's his name. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, Macklemore. Okay, I legitimately don't remember who it is, but who cares? So after that, I think the main, investors, the streamers who were, vaguely invested, the search for it, I got double the viewers and maybe money. All right, I'll buy a box, whatever. Open it on stream, who cares? I think even Moist Critical got in on it. Well, they found it. So people thought they're going to hide it in the Christmas release, which was months later. They did not. And so now nobody in Magic is really buying it, I would think, because they bought it the first time around. They were paying the most attention. So in theory, the second wave was like Christmas shopping, and it was just people who've been interested in Lord of the Rings, and then they see it and they're like, oh, I'll buy that. Now, Lord of the Rings has been a hit in a while, okay? Like the Hobbit movies were like okay. The latest Amazon series was a dumpster fire. So who's like, oh, this is red hot. If I see a product that I'm interested in, I'm going to buy it. Like, I'm so hyped for this right now. Like 10, 15 years ago, maybe. That's like saying, oh, the Matrix stuff is popping off right now. No, it's not. So what I'm thinking is it's either really rich people, collectors who are just like still on the Lord of the Rings thing. That's just like their whole identity. I don't know. Or it's just people who are like, oh, I used to play Magic the Gathering. I still think Lord of the Rings is cool. I could buy this. This seems kind of nice. Somebody got an Amazon gift card for Christmas or something. I think it's real casual people who didn't quite know what they were buying other than, oh, this looks neat. And this wasn't like a keep it sealed $200 collector item either. One of them was for sure the Tales of Middle-earth Jumpstart Booster 2-pack. Which ain't that expensive. I saw a listing was about $13 Australian, so that's pretty cheap. So people are returning those? And so I thought, wait, loose boosters? Ooh, wait a minute. Reseal scam, right? Come on. So I looked at multiple listings and people are like, yeah, Hasbro's crap, it's an agenda, it's woke, why is, a couple of the characters in blackface, let's be honest, that's what they did, everybody's pissed. So imagine you're just like, oh, cool Lord of the Rings thing, and then the art on the front doesn't look like any kind of anomalous changes were made. And then you get it, you see Aragorn, and you're like, what the hell is this? Plus, they took some characters that weren't white and made them white. Now, if you're one of those paranoid lefty idiots who's been drinking the CNN Kool-Aid a little too much, we're not all saying, I don't want no black people in my set. Whenever there's like a new series, a new thing, a new, I don't care, movie, a new, brand new Magic the Gathering plane, and they're just like, oh, look, people with different skin colors and backgrounds and clothes. Like, I don't think that way. That's not the first thing I see. I'm like, oh, looks kind of sci-fi, looks kind of neat. What kind of weapons are they holding? What kind of abilities does the card have? I don't just like get out my magnifying glass and go, okay, is he like Arabic or like North African? I don't give a shit. Nobody but racist lefties thinks that way. Nobody. So I don't care who or what's in my product, my movies, whatever, until you go and like, ooh, white people evil, white people bad. The person who made Lord of the Rings is racist, so we're going to fix it for him. Coming from a company, by the way, that absolutely refuses under any circumstances to hire black people, even as contracted artists. Look that story up. But they're going to take out the black paint roller and put blackface on Aragorn. That'll solve it. That'll solve all the world's problems. Let's go support Antifa to burn down black churches. Let's vote for a racist piece of crap old president. That'll help. He ruined the economy. That's helping black people, right? You know what black people love more than anything? It's 50,000 illegal immigrants coming to their city and taking all the resources and committing crimes, taking away all the money from the Red Cross. Yeah, that's great. That's helping everybody out. By the way, vote accordingly this November or get the fuck out of my country. We're done with your shit. Turn off the media, get a clue, and stop being so stupid. So anyway, a lot of people share my sentiment, which is why I wanted to go off on a rant for a second, because I'm one of the more polite people about it. There were other reactions online where people really flew off the handle because they just ruined another absolutely beloved property. So back to the problem here. People have reported, according to this leak from the Amazon system, allegedly, like double digits, upwards of 30% complaint rates, return rates, defective product reports. Now, people were saying, hey, I bought this 2-pack and it came identical. The 2-packs had exactly the same cards in it. I saw one report of that. I mean, that can happen. These are, they use cells in the Jumpstart boosters, so like groups go together. So it is conceivable that that would happen naturally. But a lot of the 1-star reviews I saw for this stuff is, screw Hasbro and screw this woke crap. Now, a lot of the products had fairly good reviews, like 4.5, and I'm sure it wasn't botted or just rated by activist lefties who are inflating the numbers. I'm sure that didn't happen. But recently, because remember, the Andon Cord system cares about recent. What is going on right now? Did we get a bad shipment of something that's been good for years? Who knows? And recently, it's been through the roof to the point where they're just like, nope, pull it. Theory number 1 from the community. It actually is defective, and people are saying, no way. No way is it 10, 20, 30% defective. Let me tell you, I dropped 10 grand at my shop on BFZ. We made a real pretty penny on that, but dropped about 8 grand, I think, on OGW. Oath of the Gatewatch, of course. And out of, I think it was 5,000 uncommons that I opened, 3,000 of them were not sellable. They were cut so far to the left, there's a joke there somewhere, I'm sure, that you could see like the little white circle guidance marks. Like it wasn't just, oh, it's a little bit off, welcome to Magic where they don't care about quality. This was like, I couldn't even buy list these, I couldn't sell them on eBay. If I'm not mistaken, the video where we took 2,000 Magic cards and built a bulletproof vest and then took it to the gun range, I don't want to ruin the ending, but don't build your body armor out of MTG cards. Most of those were OGW uncommons. That was the use I found for them, because I sure as shit couldn't sell them. So there's no way a Magic product would be, 30% effective. Try 60, try 70, try 80. Remember, they come off the line, they put them on a pallet, they ship them to Amazon all at once. So if the cutter was off that day, those all went into the same, boxes, which went onto the same cases, which went into the same pallets, which went to the same place. So yes, it absolutely could happen. Now, nationwide, probably not. They would have, I'd like to think, noticed at the printing facility, but you guys know I worked at a printing facility, and if you thought me or the 50% of the workers that came from the prison on work release gave one single shit about the quality, no, the machine operator who got paid about $1 more than we did, he'd have to catch it and be like, oh, that's a little bit to the side, let's stop it for a second and realign. We weren't allowed to listen to music. The whole time was standing up. There was nothing to do. It was 100 degrees on top of the heat press, and there was literally nothing else to pay attention to but that. So I don't know how automated this is, because this was, like 20 years ago. I'm old. But let's just say we already know that Texas facility that most of the English ones are printed at don't exactly run the best like optical alignment sensors or sorters or anything. It's all old school, like, I don't know what, litho equipment or something. I don't know. The stuff's a total dinosaur from what I heard. So could they conceivably run off that many defective cards where they're all like bent or the machine cut them all wrong? Yes, absolutely. But I've not seen one single review saying, hey, all my corners were bent, all of my cards were missing the red ink or something. I don't know. Also, there's no red ink, it's cyan, but whatever. I don't even know why I said that. I know better. So some people were saying, well, maybe like the thing that crimps it could have put a crimp into the cards and they didn't catch that. I could see it. So this is possible. Option number 2, and this is going to be quite short because I already heavily alluded to it and explained it. People got it and they're like, what the hell is this race swapped woke crap? This isn't Lord of the Rings. What is this, some knockoff? Is this even from a real company? Return it. I'm not going to put Black Aragorn on my shelf. Okay, that's not going to happen. So that could be, especially like I said, with the crowd that's buying it this time around instead of WotC lefty cult idiots that bought it the first wave around. If the first wave sold to Magic people and the second wave around Christmas sold to unexpecting Lord of the Rings fans, oh yeah, surprise, the bigger fan of Lord of the Rings you are, the less you're going to tolerate what they did to it. Now the third one is the part that about this makes no sense. I made a video on this, and I still don't remember the exact details, but it wasn't too long ago. Because of the volume of return and repack scams, especially on older cards and like older products where people are like, no, this is sealed, and then they send it in for fulfilled by Amazon, which is called FBA. They just said we are not taking any more returns on any Magic the Gathering products is what I thought they did. Maybe they made an exception for stuff that's like shipped direct from Hasbro. And it's only older products instead of brand new or whatever, but like they're being sold as brand new because they're sealed. So what's the difference? And so what you would do, I'm not saying do this, don't do this because it doesn't work anymore, but also seriously do not buy any Magic products on Amazon. They have a huge problem with this to this day and more. But anyway, they had announced that they're not accepting returns on them under any circumstances. And that might have been where that like NCSU or whatever level is coming from, where the people are like, what do you mean I can't return it? So they just like leave an angry comment to support, not necessarily a review of the product, but just like a complaint. And then the complaint is like, why is the return button not working? I'm going to send an email, to support. And then I'm sure they just apologize, give them a $5 gift card or something, or make an exception or whatever, And then their Andon cord system pulls it. But what people are doing is they're going, hey, I've got, 100 sealed packs of Origins. And it's like, okay, well, that came out years ago. But okay, yeah, there's not much of that. Amazon, FBA, sure. Give the UPC. You're done. Easy. Except you used a little Mylar crimper to, first you open the pack real careful. Okay, this is what the scammers are doing. Like I said, don't do this. And then they'd take out the valuable card, swap it with some trash card, either one actually from the set, so it's more subtle. You just think you get bad pulls, or just shove a Pokemon card in there, who cares? And then they'd seal it back up with like the same pattern and everything, heat seal it, and pretty hard to tell other than it would be like oversealed. Some people are using glue, that kind of stuff. And so you got, 1,000 of them coming in from 100 different sellers or whatever, and then one seller would poison the well, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, by sending in some reseals. But Amazon is like, well, they're sealed brand new in package. They all have the same UPC. They're all identical. And by the way, this goes for cases and boxes too. It's almost worse with that because those are like easier to reseal. Well, I sent in a repack full of nonsense, full of just bulk commons, but they didn't track that they came from me because there's no serial numbers. So someone at some point used the Fulfill by Amazon FBA system to send them in. Amazon threw them all in a big bin. They have absolutely no idea who sent in what because they're all identical, right? And then a bunch of them are effectively counterfeit, basically. I mean, they're modified or however you want to put it. But they can't trace them back to you. So they're like, well, what do we do about this? People are just like, it really blew up, and then Amazon took like a knee-jerk reaction and said, okay, we're not taking returns at all. Because one was the return scam. The people would buy it, repack it, seal it, and then send it back. That was half the problem because then they would resell it. They'd be like, oh, it's still sealed. The person has changed their mind, and they put in the return that they're still sealed. And then they don't track who it came from that time either. They put it back in the for sale bin. So the sellers and the buyers were both scamming each other and themselves, I guess at the same time, Amazon and other buyers, and it was just a mess. So they're just like, fine, we're not taking returns. Well, guess what? People supplying FBA stuff are still doing this. So maybe people sent in a massive reseal scam with this. And think about it, if they were searching for the ring, but that's why it doesn't make sense this time around because it was the Christmas print. The first print was months ago, and the ring was already found. So I could see people opening a ton. They reseal all the packs, throw them in a box, reseal the box, and then send it to Amazon FBA and be like, no, it's brand new sealed. Don't ask where I got it from. Who cares? None of your business. And then so many fakes and repacks were going out that they had to pull the product. I could see that being possible. But I mean, what would it be this time around? And the answer is the serialized the One Rings, which are still worth like $500 to $2,000 last I checked. And just the One Ring at all, I think that's still going for about 30. Just the normal vanilla whatever. Then you got like the alternate art and the extended and the borderless and whatever else they did to it. Yeah, those are pretty pricey. So I think somebody did a big resale scam. I'd lean towards that. The other thing is, why can't it be all three? Why can't they get a bunch of misprints and they get, the normal X% returns from misprints that they always do? Then people are seeing a bunch of race-swapped crap and inaccurate art and just pandering lefty crap from those lying hypocrites out in Seattle. And they're like, I don't want anything to do with this. I didn't know that's what I was ordering. None of the artwork showed any of this. What the hell? And then they return it. Or try to, but then it would already be opened. And I think that's where the negative complaints were coming from. Like I said, it's not a true return. It's just like a return request / angry customer. And then the third one, resale scams, where people are like, this doesn't even contain Lord of the Rings cards. Somebody put a bunch of bulk from BFZ in here. They're all a bunch of miscut OGW cards. What the hell? Still trying to get rid of those. So which one do I think it is? The answer is I don't care. I told you guys to boycott this trash. I mean, I told you when it was first announced, this is going way too far. Do not give them your money over this. And now it's just a huge black eye where they're going to go back to Hasbro and WotC and say, what the hell happened? And Amazon, like, you want to talk about a powerhouse. The company size difference? I think WotC's worth like $8 billion. Amazon's worth, I don't know, $1 trillion, like some ungodly amount of money. They could eat them up like it's a snack for breakfast. They could cut off suppliers. They could cut off their agreements, stop selling their products completely. Like when they say, hey, there's a problem and you better fix it. Oh. And look in late 2023 and early 2024, how many companies are hitting the woke wall, as we're calling it, the get woke, go broke limit, where they're like, we're losing money left and right because of all this woke shit. Get rid of all of our DEI employees, cut this crap, start making Disney movies that aren't garbage. Fire everyone, fire these racist, hate-mongering pieces of shit. Get them out of our company. You got the activist investors who, honestly, they probably don't even really care. They just care about money, and they see an opportunity where they say, I just bought up 20% of your stock, and I'm going to sell it and tell my friends to sell it while also publishing information about how you are a hopeless company and that I just pulled all my money from it and it'll be over for you. I am telling you right now, I basically just bought a controlling share without buying, 51% of your company. Fix this, or it is going to hurt your wallet even worse than the downslide already. And so they already, like these companies, putting a bunch of certain colors and flags and offensive crap on their, their bracelets, their clothes, whatever. You just buy up a bunch of shares of their company and say, hey, guess what you're doing now? Not that, and fire whoever did it. And then the brand starts selling again. It's the easiest money. And so there's so many activist investors out there that aren't even like, I don't think activist investor is the right term. Like the fixer-upper investors. Boy, if only the people who tried that with WotC, 1, had more money, and 2, were smarter, and 3, had listened to me when I called them and they interviewed me. Oh, they got burned so hard on that, and every penny of their money and their investors' money that they lost, they deserve for not listening to me, because I warned them. And they just blew me off like I was a crazy person. I'm not going to name them. You know how they are. I made a video on it. It's one of the 3,500 videos I made over the last 11 years. And, they got what's coming to them, too. And 2024, 25, 26, for various reasons, is going to be the years of really rough economic times. We're going to see the real estate bubble blow up. We're going to see China's economy start slipping. We're going to see climate movement. We're going to see plague-related disruptions. I mean, just everything. Everything's going to go to shit in the next couple of years. How bad it's going to be, versus like a recession versus, even a Republican president trying to fix the problems, which is going to cause more damage in the short term, or another Democrat, which will just end society as we know it. Either way, it's going to get really damn rough. So if you're interested in being concerned and prepared about that, I have a very based educational, like non-political prepper channel, Emergency Survival Tips. Just type it into YouTube, you find it. Go check it out. Might be a good idea. I've got one little space in my closet with 500,000 calories worth of emergency food that I package myself for $300. Okay, if that sounds tempting to you, go find out how to do it. That video has like 50,000 views. Want to learn gun and ammo basics? 130,000 views the video is sitting at on a 5,000 sub channel. I'm telling you, I'm taking that one very seriously. But I'm still here taking the magic news seriously, so if you got this far in the video and you're interested in hearing the truth and hearing news stories like this that Reddit likes to suppress because those angry lefty rainbow-haired mod dumbasses who kiss WotC's ass more than anybody in the entire community and think they're the language police and can control the narrative, which sounds awfully familiar because they're lefties. It's almost like they all think that way. Those stupid socialist fuck. Yeah, this is one of the last sources where you're going to get the news the way it actually is, with some background information, because I know about a lot of things. I've worked a lot of places, I've done a lot of things, and I know a lot of inside sources at WotC. So, yeah, my channel's hitting mad growth lately. Everybody on YouTube just kind of chills for 3 months while the ad revenues dry up after Christmas, but I'm still here. I'm going to be live streaming, turn on alerts if you want to see that. And yeah, I've actually got a game lined up for tomorrow, Saturday. It's going to be a doozy. It's pretty funny, actually. Some company sent me a free code, and my God, you probably haven't heard of it, but this is going to be amazing. This is going to be a stream to remember. It is going to go off the rails after about 3 minutes, I guarantee you, so you don't want to miss that. Subscribe if you want to see more chaos, and I'll see you guys next time. Seriously though, f*** WotC.